Welcome back to the channel. We're back with some more Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle commander content here for you today. We've been doing a whole bunch of deck profiles for the different commanders, so I feel it's time we give our rankings on each of these commanders. These are just my personal rankings in terms of power scale, and there's definitely always going to be a little bit of personal bias in there in terms of how much fun I think they'd be, or how much of a target you might end up being for running this commander in your command zone. Um, we have anywhere from A tier to F tier. A tier tending to be our top 5 commanders for the set. B tier tending to be ones where definitely hope to see them across the table. Really excited to see what other people build around them, on top of just having a lot of fun building this commander for those videos that we make on the channel as well. C tier tend to be ones that you'll see more so in the 99 than you would in the command zone. Definitely have their niche there for the command zone as well, but tending to be more so like just, things that power up other creatures. Definitely give you like a little bit of card advantage, tending not to be just as much as the B tier though. D tier tend to be creatures that power up other creatures like a little bit every so often. Not too often, like not enough to go into C tier, but like enough where they don't end up in F tier. And F tier tend to be ones where its cards not just printed for Commander. Commander's not the only format out there. So we definitely have other cards printed for like Pauper with like the commons, and just cards like the draft format. But that's going to be our general overview of it. If you guys do like videos like this, we have plenty of those on the channel as well, along with commander deck profiles for some of them. If you do want to see a deck profile for any of these commanders, leave that request down there in the comment section. I'll do my best to get to it. But let's get into card by card. Starting us off with we are going to go alphabetical order. We just go through like these first 5 right away. This way we go through like, what the criteria is for like who's in there so far. And it looks nicer to organize for the video. For our F tier though, we have April O'Neil, Kunoichi Training, a 2/2 that scries 2 when she enters, can be blocked by creatures with power 3 or greater. There's definitely options you could have where you could run Voltron with this, and she could win with commander damage. In terms of that though, you're gonna have a lot of better options in terms of who you could run for that. Since she doesn't have a way to power herself up, she just has that way to get through with her damage, which does make it really nice because it'll be a lot harder to destroy her, a lot harder to block her for a lot of decks. Definitely something that I could see running in the 99, but not going to see too often. I'm not sure if she really qualifies as a replacement for a lot of things. So, F tier she goes for the command zone at least. Baxter Stockman, 3, a blue and a red. For Dri, when Baxter Stockman enters, create a 1/1 robot artifact creature token. At the end of combat on turn, target artifact creature gets +3/+0 and first strike and vigilance to end the turn. Definitely a decent power up that you're giving to a creature, especially with the first strike and vigilance, making sure that one of your powerful artifact creatures, or even just your 1/1 robot, is getting through a little bit of damage because people tend not to like to block first strike too often. But it is powering up one creature and it's each combat. In theory, if you do run multiple combat spells with this deck, you could keep pumping up the same thing, and like potentially the thing's gonna get strong enough to like one-shot your opponent. In terms of like how often that's happening, it is a 5-mana commander. In order to do that, you need to pay like 6 mana to take like 2 extra combat phases. It's not gonna happen often enough where he's gonna get at a D tier here for us. There's also just like a decent amount of powerful commanders for this format. Sorry, for this set. So that's why it's a little bit harder for like what's put in F, what's put in D compared to like some other sets. For C tier with April O'Neil Hacktivist, at the end of your end step, draw a card for each card type among spells you've cast this turn. It's only among spells that we've cast, doesn't matter if our opponent tried countering our things. It's only at the beginning of our end step as well, so it is a little bit limited, but it is definitely going to be a lot of draw power if you build around it. You build an artifact creature deck, you're getting 2 cards each turn. That's no small potatoes in terms of what you're getting. You build an enchantment creature deck, you're a little bit limited because not many things in blue for enchantments, but still definitely an option out there. You could run something that just runs like Atraxa, but with only one color. Overall, like Atraxa is a better like version of this as a commander, but this could definitely run really well in an Atraxa deck. So, hoping to see it across the table, hoping to see it in the 99, but just a little bit limited in terms of what you could do for the command zone. Bees here, we have April, Reporter of the Weird. Whenever April deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards and discard a card. That could be a lot of cards here in blue. We just talked about how you have enchantment options. There's definitely plenty of ways to make April unblockable. There's ways to draw just a lot of cards, whereas April O'Neil Hacktivist is drawing you probably like a maximum of 2 cards each turn. April Reporter the Weird is probably drawing you at least 2 cards every turn, if not more. You are discarding them, but like that's fine. You have plenty of discard synergies, especially in recent sets. Windfall, and then deck out your opponents maybe. But overall, just really powerful ability, a lot of stat line that you're going to get on her in order to deal a lot of damage. And then for our A tier, our first of our top 5, we have Dark Leo and Shredder. Recently posted, well, actually, I think the video for this one's going out tomorrow. His sneak, he get on the board super easily to deal some combat damage to your opponent. Attacking ninjas you control with that touch, really good archetype there for your other ninja commanders. And when Dark Leo and Shredder deal combat damage to a player, get a 1/1 black ninja creature token. If you control 5 or more ninjas, that player loses half their life rounded up. You're in white and black, you have plenty of ways to like double up the amount of life your opponent's losing. Plenty of ways to have it be like, oh, if your opponent loses life, they gain double that amount of life instead. Really good in terms of this type of like commander that we're getting, where we're having their life. Only reason I might hesitate and move this down to like B tier later is because you do become a bit of a target when you're running something that says take away half of your opponent's life. So that does become a little bit of a trouble there, I've noticed with this commander. But still, his effect's really powerful, taking out half your opponent's life basically for free because you just use that sneak cost and no one sees it coming until there's like, wait, what's your commander do? You run double strike, you run Genji Glove with this, you get that effect like the first turn this and Genji Glove are on the table together. It's gonna be enough to tend to quarter at least one person's health. But that's our top. That's our 5 for each tier. Let's get into it alphabetical order wise. Agent Bishop, Man in Black, 2 and a white. We have 1/2. At the beginning of the combat on your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on each of up to 2 target creatures. The +1/+1 counters do have to go on 2 separate creatures, so you are a little bit limited there because you want to make sure you have at least the 2 separate creatures on the board in order to get full use of this effect. He is 3 mana, so definitely not hard to get him out. You're in mono white, so you have plenty of like cheap creatures that you can get out turn 1 or turn 2. Turn 1 planes, turn 2 second planes, and Spirit Guide. Not Spirit Guide. Yeah, no. I don't know. Anyway, Spirit Companion, that's the card I was looking for. And then put the +1/+1 counters on that and Agent Bishop turn 3. Once you get Agent Bishop on the board, it's like a decent power up there. In terms of like, are you getting maximum advantage compared to like some other things? I do think you're going to see him in the 99 of a lot of decks, but I think as commander, I think I'm going to put him down there in the D tier. April O'Neil, Human Element. Whenever a player casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, you get a mutant token. That's not draw power, that is powering up your creatures. It's whenever a player casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery, you just run a whole bunch of counter spells, and like this fits really well into what's his name, Baral, assistant to the chief, and like that's it's a big creature you're getting on with Baral. Because normally people are just like, well, just run like a piece of removal that deals like 3 damage to him. No, now he's a little bit stronger, and you have to actually do something about him. So I do definitely think you're going to see her in some of the 99s of a lot of decks. In terms of how powerful she is in the command zone, that's a lot of mutant tokens you're getting. That's a lot of power up. Whereas like Baxter and Agent Bishop are limited in terms of how often they could do their power up, being only once each combat. Hers is still at sorcery speed, but that's more often than you're going to be getting off Agent Bishop and Baxter Stockman. So I do think they'll end up in this C tier here for us. Following up with Armagon, Future Shark. For 6 and 2 black, and 9/6 with Flash, Armagon enters, destroy up to 3 targeted creatures. That's a lot of removal, but it should be because it's 8 mana. You have Flash on this, so you can do it during any player's turn. You have ways to make sure that if this card leaves the battlefield, it comes back. You have ways to like reanimate this in black. In the command zone, it is 8 mana, and it's going to be very hard to get onto the battlefield, especially since you're playing mono black and you don't have a way to mill it into the graveyard. You don't have a way to discard it into the graveyard. So it is very powerful. It is getting a lot of removal on board. I had a lot of fun building this one, especially because like I forgot how many things like Kaya's Ghost Form or Not Dead After All. Like just bring Armagon back to the battlefield, and there's like, oh, I remove your creature. No, I remove 3 of yours, and that's just fun. But in terms of like power level, 8 mana is a little bit much to go above D tier, I'd say. Following out of Baxter, Fly in the Ointment, 3 and a blue for 2/2. Whenever Baxter or enters or attacks each creature you control with a counter on it gains flying till end of turn. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Baxter. So Baxter's going to get pretty powerful. You're in blue. It's not going to be hard to get +1/+1 counters on him. Is he better than that one bird that costs the same amount? Maybe? The bird starts off with flying, but he starts off as a 1/1 rather than a 2/2. It's anytime he attacks, each creature you control gets flying, so like that's a power up each time. He can definitely get up there in power. And like most people aren't gonna have enough to block all your flyers. In terms of like him in the command zone, you're not gonna see him in the command zone too often. You're gonna see him in the 99 of like a Nekuzar deck maybe, or a what are other cards I can't think of the names of. Anyway, but something where like you want to draw cards, but you also want to deal a lot of damage. Clinquin Sky Mage is a card I'm thinking of. I think still definitely more powerful than like what we have in D tier so far, but I don't know if powerful enough. I think yeah, his power up is better than like some of your other creatures that we're having so far. So I think C tier he goes. Followed up with Bebop and Rocksteady. For 1 and either black or green or black or green, we have a 7/5, where when they attack or block, sacrifice a permanent unless you discard a card. It's 3-shot in the command zone. You are in green and black, so like you don't mind discarding or like sacrificing your cards. It's almost a perk, if anything. In terms of that on a creature, like in the command zone, is it more than just a strong creature? Yes, it is. So like, that's why I struggle to put an F tier. But April O'Neil is also more than just a strong creature. She also has that part where she could be not blocked. This is a 3-shot towards your opponent. It is a little bit limited in terms of like how often it gets to either sacrifice your stuff or discard cards. Like, yeah, it is definitely gonna be cool to like have a 7/5 in the command zone. That's just blocked by 1/1. And it also makes you sacrifice a permanent. But like if you have what's it called? Some of those like cards that make your opponent sacrifice creatures when you sacrifice creatures, definitely makes it easier to get through for the damage. I think I wanna say like C tier, but I think D tier in terms of like where it'll end up ranking. Following up with Bebop, Skull and Crossbones. Partner with Rocksteady. Death Touch. Bebop deals combat damage to a player. You may draw X cards where X is the number of counters on Bebop. If you do, you lose X life. Okay. So it's gonna be hard to rank him without ranking Rocksteady. Where's that Rocksteady? Okay. Whenever another non-token creature you control enters, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature. Sorry, on target creature or each creature? Not on target creature. So you have to sacrifice some stuff to get it. He has to deal the damage to get that effect. That's a decent amount of draw power that you're getting. Is it enough? Like, I don't think it's enough to go into B tier. I mean, like, it doesn't have a way to make your opponent sacrifice anything. As a duo, though, are they going to end up down there in D tier? No. I think they do enough to end up in C tier together. like once you combine the two effects. Whenever a non-token creature you control enters, yeah. You have plenty of ways to get tokens. You have plenty of ways to make it so that like you're getting +1/+1 counters anytime like a token enters. Yeah, I think that's deserving a C tier. Oh wait, no, non-token creature. Yeah, no, I think that's good. Finally, we have Bebop, Warthog Warrior, Rhinos you control of Menace, Swamp Cycling, and Menace. You can't use a Swamp Cycling effect, so we're just gonna ignore that part. 4 in the black for a 5/4 with Menace. And Rhinos you control of Menace. It's a creature that's hard to block and also makes your Rhinos hard to block. You could run Changelings with this. But is that any good? No, not really. Not for this, especially when April kneels down here with the F tier. Following up with Casey and Rav, Hotheads. 4/4, when they enter, choose one or both. Each mode must target a different player. Target player exiles the top card of their library until that player's next end step. They may play that card without paying its mana cost. And target player creates 2 treasure tokens. Okay, so both are positive effects. You play a bit of group hug with this. It's actually my first time looking at this, so I'm pretty sure I don't think I saw this one before. It's only when they enter. It's a little bit of like card advantage. You're in red, so you don't have ways to like blink your creatures like super often. You can run Panharmonicon to do it twice, I guess. In terms of the power level though, I think you're limited by being in mono red. If you were like red white, sure, like we have all those blink spells, I put it in C tier. But being limited by mono red with this, I think it goes down there into D tier. Following up with Casey Jones, Asphalt Hooligan. For 2/2, double strike, double his power until end of turn. Any player may activate this ability. Hear me out. This is going to be a very fun commander. You just try to like negotiate and be like, hey, I'm playing 4 mana and I'll remove that guy from the game for you. Especially because you need him to get up to 12 power to do that, to one-shot someone, because he has to double strike. So it's double once is 4, double twice is 8, double 3 times is 16. So to pay 12 mana amongst 3 players maybe, if like someone's really being a menace. In terms of like how powerful it is though, I don't think it's gonna go above the F tier here. It ends up being just a strong creature, but like a very strong creature is the thing with this one. So like I think slightly better than Bebop, like but still similar there to April. Following up with Casey Jones, Back Alley Brute. Attacks put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature, aka Casey Jones potentially. Whenever you put 1 or more +1/+1 counters on a creature you control, deal that much damage to target opponent. Alright. Very good effect. This is a easy way to go infinite with, it's called the Red Terror. Yeah, it's from Warhammer 40k set. For its actual name. In terms of like how powerful this actually is, I think it's another one that's a little bit limited by being in mono red. Like you have a strong effect, and it does a lot of damage, but how often are you really getting counters on things in mono red? Not like super often. Often enough where like you could definitely deal a good amount of damage. But I don't think often enough to go above D tier here for me. Like there's an instant combos. Like it's hard to put it on C tier at least. But I don't think it's worth the C tier. Casey Jones, Jury Rig Justice here. Let the top 4 cards. Oh yeah, this one. The top 4 cards of your library, add an artifact from among them, put the rest on the bottom. It gives you slight card advantage, so it'd be hard to put it anywhere up under D tier. I think it personally deserves F tier because it's like very bad card advantage. But we tend to put our cards that give us at least a little bit of card advantage in the D tier. Casey Jones, Vigilante, who really liked this card. Enters, draw 3 cards, being your next upkeep, discard 3 cards at random. Discarding is a very good archetype for red. That's a lot of cards that you can draw. You are limited once again though by being in red and not being able to blink him. But create token copies, give them Myriad, do it again and again. Also, Casey Jones and Raph, I do hope to see in like a 99 of the deck. But especially in like Zuko, if you could keep on blinking them. Ooh, Casey Jones would actually really good for a Zuko deck. In terms of how often I hope to see this though, do I think it deserves B tier for how much it's drawing? I think it does. I think Casey Jones, that's a lot of cards that we're drawing. That's 3 at a time. And we just get synergies for discarding them? Yeah, I'll take that deal. Especially if we could run like, there's that one that says like, draw an amount of cards. Sorry, discard your hand and draw an amount of cards equals the amount of cards you discarded this turn. This works really well for this deck. Next we have Don and Leo, Problem Solvers. Being your end step, blink a creature and an artifact. Alright, we're in blue and white. You have a lot of things you want to have with good enter the battlefield abilities. You have access to Elish Norn. You have access to Starfield Vocalist. I forgot what the new card's name is. From Edge of Eternities that doubles up the enter's abilities. I really like this commander. It is 5 mana. It's like the one downside to it. And like you need something else to work with it since it doesn't like work on its own. So I can't give it A tier, but I could give it B tier. Followed up with Don and Wrath, Hard Science. Enters the next non-creature spell you cast this turn. Has affinity for artifacts. That's when they attack. That's attack and then use an extra common spell. It's reduced by the amount of mana. And, attack again. Have another extra common spell. Just storm off on your opponents with a whole bunch of artifacts that you have. It's like 2 really good archetypes that you're combining into one. That's A tier. That's like high above like anything else so far. Like you just get super like expensive spells for like super cheap. You earn red and blue. You have plenty of access to artifacts. I might be mistaken given how it's only a 32-cent commander. Looking at the price now, but I really like this one. Following up with Donatello, Gadget Master. Deals common damage to a player. Create a token. Actually, no. We put Don and Leo because they don't have a way to activate their own ability. Well, but they do because they attack. I'm leaving an A tier for now. Maybe we'll move it later. Donatello, Gadget Master, sneak for 1 in a blue, so making it super easy to deal common damage to your opponent. And when it deals common damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of target artifact you control. Alright. So, we just talked about how good blue is artifacts. Yeah, I mean, Emery Lurker Lock is a really good commander. Sneak, very easy to use. Very easy to make him unblockable. Very easy to give him double strike between like a Genji Love and a Fire Shrieker. What else can we do with this? We can run, maybe a walking ballista, what's called roaming drone, in order to like double up the effect and double up the effect again, and just keep on dealing a whole bunch of damage to your opponent. But so I do want to put it in A tier, but I think because you're not getting those artifacts in the first place, I think it could still go down there in B tier for now. I don't know. That's why I did think about putting Don Wrath down into B tier as well. But we'll see. Donatello, Mutant Mechanic. Put 3+++ encounters on target artifact you control. If it's a creature, it becomes a 0/0 robot in addition to its other types. Only as a sorcery. And an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield. If it had counters on it, put those counters onto 1 target artifact or creature you control. Very good effect. Another amazing effect for like Donatello. They did very good work for him. At least for these 2, I don't think I read like the other 3. So I know 1's a common, so like it's not gonna be great. This is gonna power up your creatures every turn. You are in blue, so you have access to cards that'll untap your creature a whole bunch for like 1 mana. Tap the thing, untap them, and just make something super powerful. It's like similar to like what we were saying about Baxter earlier. Is that in theory, you could have a super powerful creature if you have like the right setup. But this is a lot easier to do, and this keeps its counters going around. Does it deserve B tier though? I think so. I think that's enough of a power boost in order, like just because of how often you're able to tap and untap it. I think that does still deserve to be tier, despite only being like a power for a creature. Following up, we have Donatello, Rad Scientist. Enters, tap up to 3 target creatures opponents control and put a stun counter on each of them. 6 mana. Your opponents don't like stuff getting tapped down. But it does basically remove 3 creatures for like 2 turns for your opponents. And it's not May. You're in blue, so you can keep on blinking this too. So I think I don't want to put in D tier. I think that still deserves C tier, just because of like how much like you're doing to like your opponents in terms of like that. I think that deserves a C tier. Donatello, Turtle Techie, enters if you control an artifact, draw a card. Draw a card maybe sometimes. Alright, I think we put this Casey Jones down here because I can't put that anywhere other than F tier. Draw a card maybe sometimes only if you control thing. Nah, we ain't doing it, Chief. Donatello, Way with Machines. Whenever an artifact you control enters, put +1/+1 counter on Donatello. So maybe that was the F tier one, because a strong creature it becomes. I mean, it has a way to get plenty strong, and what's happening with his face? I mean, like, he could get really strong, but so can, like, other creatures you control. Has a way to do it itself, I guess. We'll put in D tier for now. It's either low D, high F, I think, for that one. Donnie and April, a dorkable duo. Choose one or both when they enter. A lot easier than red because you're in blue now, so you have ways to blink it. Target player draws 2 cards, that's us. Target player returns an artifact, instant, or sorcery from their graveyard to their hand. Oh, for 5 mana. Do we want to draw cards? Do we want to record our best spells? Yes. That's a very good effect. You're in blue, so like it's not always going to cost 5 to like keep on blinking this. So you have like Deadeye Navigator. I think this could go in C tier. Like that's enough recursion and enough draw power for it to be worth it. Also gonna move Rocksteady back over here for now. We'll put him back when he's done. When we're done. Because this way everything still looks like it's in alphabetical order. Finally, we have General Trag, Heart of Stone, 4/3 with Trample. Enters, you may sacrifice another artifact. You do, deal 4 damage to target creature. Wait. When he enters, sacrifice. So wait. You pay 5 mana for an overcosted creature that could sacrifice another thing in order to deal damage to just a creature? No, thank you. F tier you go. Alright. We'll move these two back up for now, because like that's a lot worse. Genghis Frog enters, or another mutant you can. Sorry, whenever Genghis Frog or another mutant you control enters, get a mutant token. Trample. So like that gives him points there. He's gonna be super powerful, because you're gonna have a just filled deck with mutants. You can't use the mutant tokens if you're already in. If you're blinking him, so like the blink thing is gone for getting those. Well, I guess like you just keep blinking him and then get a whole bunch of mutant tokens to use on him. You can also just run a whole bunch of mutants. And I mean, you can also run +1/+1 counter synergies. You mean we're in the colors for Zuri, Claw of Progress. Yeah, you have plenty of +1/+1 counter synergies. Especially if you like stack up your number of mutant tokens and you get like Sage of Hours out in an extra turn. I like that effect. I don't think it goes above D tier though. Ground Chuck and Dirtbag. Whenever you tap land for mana, add an additional green. So that's going to be a lot of mana. You're in green. You have plenty of ways to get plenty of lands. We could easily get this out, like I'd say, turn 3, turn 4. Especially if you're like, oof, this one's going to be nasty for standard, I feel. No, or is this too high cost for standard? I don't know, Badger Mole Cub, how soon are you getting this out, though? Because you have to turn 3. Yeah, you have to turn 3 with Badger Mole Cub. It's an 8/8 with Trample, which like most things don't have anything to deal with unless like someone's playing black. In terms of commander though, as a commander, it's gonna be a lot of mana. That's a lot of perks you're getting. In terms of like how powerful it is, though, I think we're going down to C tier. I think it is a very high cost, but you're in green. It's like maybe B tier, but I don't know. Like I feel like you're gonna see it more in the 99 than you are in the command zone. I think I'm really excited to run this one for like a landfall deck. This way you could just like, have all your landfalls and then use all that mana again. Yeah, I like it. Heroes in the Half Shell, whenever or maybe I'll put in B tier. We'll put in B tier for now. Heroes in the Half Shell. Whenever one or more mutants, ninjas, or turtles you control deal combat damage to a player, sorry, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures and draw a card. So you need to draw one. It's only if you deal combat damage. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be easy to deal combat damage. Is it C tier? Is it low C, high D? That's what I want to go for. In terms of like what you're doing now. I don't know. I don't know if it's enough card advantage to go into C tier. I think that's a D tier commander. Era, part time mutant. Alright, so get a clone of one of your best creatures, and except it doesn't apply to legend rule, and get a +1/+1 counter on it. In terms of the 99, very powerful. In terms of the command zone, like, she becomes a copy, so like you get a copy, you don't get like good enters abilities. You get to keep on changing, so you keep on doing it every turn. That's really good. Sakashima is like a very popular commander, and he does like something very similar. In terms of like, I don't know, in terms of personal enjoyment, I just don't enjoy like clone decks that much. See, I could see B tier like for certain people, but like for me, it's C tier. Jenica, Bad Apple, Big Sister. Oh, another turtle. Plain cycling, which we can't use. Enters, get a 2/2 red mutant creature token. You get another token for 5 mana. Basically getting cost for 5 mana. No, we're going in F tier. Karai, Future to Foot, really good ability. I like this one a lot. So I should be going up on the channel this week as well. For one white and a black, we had Dri. I can also sneak her in. Because when she deals combat damage to a player, return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand. If her sneak cost is paid, instead return that card to the battlefield. She's a very good commander. She is a little bit outclassed by Squall in my book. Squall Seed Mercenary to be specific. In terms of her effect, you're recurring a whole bunch of creatures, you're getting a whole bunch of card advantage. You have ways to give her double strike to make sure you're getting multiple things a turn. You know, ways to just revive a big creature on the board. I'm very excited to see her in the command zone for a lot of people. I really like the Squall effect. I think he's an A tier commander for like this set. But for her, I think like we're gonna see something more powerful a little bit later on. Kitsune, Dragon's Daughter, enters or deals combat damage to a player. Exchange control 2 target creatures controlled by different players. It's limited to creatures. It's when she enters, so like you keep on blinking her and keep on getting that effect. It's not hard to do. In terms of like how good the effect is, like it's very fun. It's very trolly. You have blues. You have access to Agent of Treachery, so you can draw cards off that. Just create a whole bunch of 1/1 Doppler tokens, give them to your opponent. And I was like, I think it's good enough for C tier, just be, but it is 6 mana, so I could see arguments for high D, low C. Following up with Koya, Death from Above. Enters, exile to 1 target creature. At the beginning of your next end step, you may pay 3 in the black. If you don't, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Basically, when this creature enters, blink a creature until the end phase. We have plenty of creatures that do the same. With most of this costs like 4, I think. At least the one I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of like Restoration Angel. What's Restoration? I know there's 2 different angels. One does it right away, one does it at the end phase. I think I could see low C, but I think this is going to go in D tier. Like it's limited by when it enters, and then it's not till end phase, which could screw you over as well. Crying End Shredder enters 4 attacks. Each opponent exiles cards to the top of the library. They may exile until they exile non-land card. And if you if it's something left the battlefield, you get to cast that card for free. We're getting free spells. We're getting to do this a whole bunch. We're going to mill out our opponents potentially. I think that's an easy A tier. You're getting free spells. You're going to steal from your opponents. Doesn't matter how big the spell is, you still get to steal it as long as something left the battlefield, which you blinked this creature, it left the battlefield and it came back, so something left the battlefield. And you got to deal the damage. Sorry, you got to have your opponents mill the cards. So, like, you're in those free spells. You're getting a lot of advantage. Crying Shredder, if you really want to see how powerful this one is, check out the video on the channel where it does so much work. See if it wins or not. Followed up with Crying Mastermind. Enters if it has fewer than 4 cards in hand. Draw cards equal to the difference. That could be a lot of draw power. Not as good as Zakok, though, who, like, I have not seen any play of at all. +1/+0 for each other artifact you control. Alright, so say if we get him out for 2 because of 6 artifacts, he's a 7/4. That draws us 4 cards. We get a whole. I think that's better than Bebop and Rocksteady. Is it good enough for C tier, though? It's going to be a 3 shot if you have the 6 artifacts, and he keeps getting stronger. And that's a lot of draw power. I think that's C tier. Following up, we have Krang, the all-powerful. If a player drawing a card causes the triggered ability of a permanent to happen, it happens additional time. Whenever a player draws their second card each turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Krang. Really good card for, like, Nekuzar. Really good card for, like, other decks that just like to draw multiple cards during the same turn. But it's whenever a player draws their second card each turn, too. So, like, he could get really powerful, especially if you have, like, Howling Mine on the board. Like I said, with Nekuzar, everyone's drawing 2 cards each turn. That's going to be, let's see, by the time you get around the table, it's +2, +4, +6, +8. So he's an 11/11. He's a 2 shot. Give him, like, double strike somehow, and that's a 1 shot on an opponent. In terms of how powerful this actually is, does it deserve to be in the command zone is the question. I want to see it in the command zone. In terms of, like, powering up its own ability, I think it does still end up down there in the C tier. Like, this is going to be something I think you're going to see a lot in the 99. But in terms of, like, how often you're going to see it, actually, I think you're going to not see it too often in command zone because it just ends up being a strong creature. But speaking of Krang, what's Krang? Ultra Warlord. Flying, trample, indestructible, haste. Other artifact creatures you control. Flying, trample, indestructible, and haste. That's a lot of good keywords. That's a lot of really good keywords. Indestructible and flying and trample and haste. Those are all amazing keywords you're putting in your creatures. You're powering those creatures up constantly. He has 9 mana, so way better. But you're in colorless. You have plenty of ways to, like, just get him out, like, turn 3, not turn 3, like turn 4, turn 5. It's like, by the time you did that, you already got, like, some other powerful artifact creatures, I bet. So, that's, like, he powers up your stuff enough where he deserves A tier. Sorry, B tier. I can even see A tier. Depends on, like, what you like running. I can also see C tier. Because, like, it is just a power up. But leave your own thoughts down there. Letterhead, Iron Gator, Trample, Haste, 5/5 for 7. Attacks, put 2 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control. That's a big power for a lot of creatures. Is it Flying, Trample, Indestructible, Haste power up? No, it's not. Is it a better power up than some of our other stuff? I think so. I think that's a little bit better than April, but it is 7 mana, so it better be. In terms of, like, how powerful this is, though, let's think. It is 7 mana as haste, so as the turn comes down, it's basically 7/7 for 7 with trample. It's get pretty powerful, especially if ways to double up those number of counters. That's gonna just get even more powerful. I think C tier. That's enough of a power up to go in C tier. Letterhead, Swamp Stalker, enters with hexproof counter on her. Deals common damage to a player, may remove a counter from her. When you do, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls. Remove a artifact, sometimes maybe only if you do a certain thing. F tier. Leonardo, Big Brother. We're almost halfway through the alphabet. We're halfway through commanders. 11, 22, 33, 39, and we have 57 left. Okay, we're done. Gets +1/+0 for each other creature you control. Here in white, you have plenty of ways to get creatures on the board. You have plenty of ways to get plenty of tokens on the board. He could be a super powerful creature. But that's about all he's going to be. Just super powerful creature. I mean, like, he can be a very powerful creature, I guess. But, I don't know. I think he's going above F tier for me. Leonardo, Cutting Edge. You gain life, put a +1/+1 counter on Leonardo, lifelink. He has a way to enable his own ability. It's, like, slightly better than the last Leonardo we just did. So, like, I have to give him some points there. Sneak, easy, I'm on the board. He's kind of a worse version of Eric, though, is the thing, at the end of the day. Which, like, Eric, now we put probably a little bit too high in our rankings, but we really enjoy, like, using her as a commander. He is also a legendary creature, so he really works in air. But he's just kind of in a Giant's Pride mate with lifelink. At least he has a way to, like, power up his own ability. So, D tier he goes. Leonardo, leader in blue. Sneak for 3 and 2 blue. 1 Leonardo enters. If his sneak cost was paid, creature's controller +2/+0 until end of turn. Pay 1 and a white. He gains first strike on the turn. So you either pay 1 to get a 2/1 that gets first strike. Okay. Or you could pay 5 to give your creatures +2/+0 for 1 turn. I'm good. I think we could put you in D tier. At least it powers up other things other than itself, so can't go into F tier, I guess. Leonardo, Sewer Samurai. A lot of recursion on this one. Sneak for 2 and 2 white. Double strike. During your turn, you may cast creature spells with power toughness 1 or less from your graveyard. If it's cast a spell this way, you get a finality counter on him. Easy for him to deal damage to your opponent. Especially with him sneak in, but you don't need him to deal damage to your opponent. It's only during your turn, but that doesn't matter. He doesn't have to attack to enable it. We're just going to be casting a whole bunch of stuff for free. We're going to be recurring all of our stuff essentially. I think it's easy B tier. It's just a lot of recursion. Leonardo, Wordly Warrior. 7 and a white for a 5/5 with double strike. Oh, but he costs less for each creature you control. Okay, once again, you're a mono white. So, am I putting a 1 mana 5/5 with double strike in the command zone? I think I am. I don't think I'm putting it above D tier. I mean, that's just gonna be a fun effect. I think it's gonna fit really well in a lot of token decks. That'll be fun. Lita, little orphan amphibian. Whenever another creature you control enters, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Another creature, so not non-token creature, that hasn't been chosen this turn. Oh, this is during any player's turn then. Put a +1/+1 counter on Lita, making her 3/2. Get a food token or scry 1. Is she a worse version than Gala Greeters? Just kind of. Kind of, yeah, I guess. I mean, you're getting pretty meh abilities at the end of the day. Food tokens are fun. +1/+1 counters are fun. Are you going to be able to sustain getting a token during each player's turn? This is in mono black. Yeah, that'd be really good. Because then you just get that Ophiomancer, the one that gets a sneak every turn. Do you have a way to do... No, I know green has options with Tender Shoe Dryad. Is there a way for white to do that? I'm going to assume there is and put her in C tier, assuming that she gets those counters and the scry power enough. I don't know, just being able to play during your opponent's turn enough could go in C tier, in my opinion, I guess. So there we go. Chop a bit. Lord Drag, Insect Invader. Flying, disappear. At the beginning of your end step, if the permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, get a 1/1 black insect warrior creature token with flying. At the beginning of your end step, okay. I was gonna say, this is actually kind of what we were looking for. Something to sacrifice on your opponent's turn with Ophiomancer. Sacrifice a token, draw a card. A little bit of draw power, sometimes maybe. D tier. Madam Null, Power Broker. Whenever another creature you control enters, pay life equal to its power, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Get a super powerful creature with lifelink and just gain the life right back. You don't even have to worry about paying that life. You're in mono black. You have plenty of life. It's also May, so you don't have to pay the ability, so you don't have to worry about removing yourself from the game. You have plenty of ways to make it so your opponent loses life equal to the amount of life he gained. You have plenty of ways to go infinite with that same type of effect. In terms of the command zone, very powerful. We're going to want that effect as soon as possible. But I don't think A tier. I think that still goes in B tier. Metalhead. Enters return onto one other target artifact or creature to its owner's hand. Okay, so it doesn't have to be ours. For 4/4. For 4 and a blue. Sacrifice another artifact with a +1/+1 counter on this card. He gains menace. Okay. So to return a card to someone's hand for 5 mana. And sometimes we can power him up. It's a removal, I guess. So not F tier, but D tier, I guess. Michelangelo, Game Master. Favorite end step of permanent left the battlefield under your controller's turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Michelangelo. That's only at the beginning of your end step, so it just ends up being a powerful creature. I mean, you have access to plenty of things that like power up +1/+1 counters in green. I don't think enough to go above F tier though. Sorry. You have plenty of ways. I'm just saying, like, I don't think that he's good enough to go above F tier. So, Michelangelo Improviser. Sneak for 2 and 2 green or Drina green. So basically the same thing because you're mono green. Deals combat damage to a player. You may put a creature card and/or land card from your hand onto the battlefield. It's a lot of mana cheating. That's a lot of mana cheating. It doesn't draw cards, so like you are a little bit reliant. Doesn't have like a lot of ways to make it unblockable. You have plenty of ways to like give it double strike, run a Genji glove, and just put your whole hand onto the board. It's also really cool how it lets you do lands and not just creatures, because it's basically like, oh, you're in green, just put whatever you have in your hand on the board. That's B tier. That's really good commander. Michelangelo Mutant BFF. Each creature you control with a counter on it can't be blocked by more than one creature. Basically, all of our creatures have anti-menace. Whenever it enters or attacks, get a mutant token. Alright, so we have ways to get the mutant tokens on our things in the first place. We have ways to... We're in green, so we have plenty of ways to get counters on things. Yeah, I think that's a really good effect. I think it's a power-up for other stuff. Doesn't do any mana cheating, doesn't do any card advantage. So, still C tier there for us. Michelangelo on the scene. Trample 2/2 for 4 and 2 green. Okay. And just a +1/+1 counter on him for each land you control. Okay. Dies, return this card to your hand. You got around commander attacks, I guess. Like, that's cool. That's a little bit of mana cheating. Let's say if you have 6 lands, you're an 8/8. With trample. Like, trample's nice. Like, guaranteeing that damage. That's good. I think you're gonna see us a lot in like Badge and World Cup decks. In terms of how often you're actually gonna see it in the command zone, I think he only powers himself up, so I think that's still D tier. Mikey and Don Party Planners. Look at the top card of your library anytime. Ward 2, 2 and Simic for 3/3. Put any lands, may play lands and cast mutant, ninja, or turtle spells top of your library. If you cast a creature spell this way, creatures enter with +1/+1 counter on them. You're in Simic, you like +1/+1 counters. You like this card advantage that you're getting. You like to cast spells on top of your deck. You are not really getting the mana cheating, but you're getting like the draw power essentially. Is this B tier? See, a low B, high C. I think for those, we tend to put those in C then. Following up with Mikey and Leo, cast an order. Put a counter on a creature, draw a card. This ability only happens once each turn, not once during each of your turns. That's during any player's turn. So if we have cards that, like, maybe if you saw the video, you saw that we have plenty of ways to get +1/+1 counters during each player's turn. And that's a lot of draw power that we're getting. So, B tier we go. It's like too much draw power. You're drawing 4 cards each round. I could easily see us going in A tier as well. Mikey and Mona, Mutant Sitters. 2 and a green for 2/2. Choose one or both. Target player chooses a creature they control, put 2 +1/+1 counters on it, or target player recurs a card from their graveyard. Little bit of recursion. It's not as good as what is it, Donnie and April. It's recursion. The counters are cool, I guess, but it's not draw power. I think it's D tier. Mona Lisa, ever adaptable. 4/4 for green and green. Whenever a player casts a creature spell, whenever a player casts a creature spell, you get a mutant token. Oh, that's cool. That's a lot of mutant tokens that you're going to be getting. Especially since we're in green, we're going to be casting creature spells a whole bunch. And it's not the first time each turn, even. That's just get mutant tokens. That's a lot of power ups. Mutant tokens are kind of like meta at the end of the day, it's the only thing. Is it C, high C, low B, I'd say. I kind of want to build now, actually. I think C. Mona Lisa, Science Geek. Reach, add X mana, any one color. This is her power. Plenty of ways to get a +1/+1 counters on her in green, so like she becomes more than just a mana dork. But in the command zone, people are removing your commanders a lot. Is she going to be above C? Yeah, I think that's still enough mana to go in C tier. Mondo Gecko. If you guys really want to see a commander pop off, go check out that video. 1 and 2 blue for 2 3, where you pay 1 and you discard a card until end of turn. Mondo Gecko becomes the color of your choice and gains hexproof from that color, not protection. It's like not great. When he deals combat damage to a player, draw a card for each color among permanents you control. If he's in the command zone, you have very limited in terms of like how many different colors you can run. Because you're only mono blue, but then you discard a card and make Mondo Gecko like green. So like that's cool. So you get to draw 2 cards anytime he deals combat damage, which is like the same as April Weird Reporter. Especially because like you could do this more than once. So like I just really like Mondo Gecko. He does a lot of work. Found up we have Mutagen Man, Living Ooze. Activate abilities of artifact tokens you control, cost 1 less to activate. Enters get X mutagen tokens or X mana paid up here. He becomes really powerful. You get to use all your mutagen tokens for free. That's a lot of cost reduction. It's gonna be more than just a powerful creature after you use all the mutagen tokens, so yes, because he's still giving you a lot of cost reduction. C tier. Old Hob, Alley Cat Blues. Enemy of combat on your turn, get a 2/2 mutant creature token. Gains haste on the turn, destroy it being next and some. Okay, get 2/2 for temporarily. Target attacking creature control gains indestructible. Okay, I think you're F tier. Oroku Saki, Shredder Rising. When Oroku Saki deals combat damage to a player, draw a card and lose a life. Sneak in order to get it for a little bit cheaper and make sure the damage is being dealt. 3/1. I mean, you're basically with double strikes, so you can draw multiple cards. It's like better than F tier, I guess. So like, I guess we could put you on D. It's not deserving of C. Pizza Face, Gastromancer, very fun commander. Also coming out this week. Create a food token when he enters. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield under your control this turn, put 3 +1/+1 counters onto one target artifact or creature. If it isn't a creature, it becomes a 0/0 mutant creature in addition to its other types. You're in mono green. It's only during your turn now. It is powering up your other stuff, but it's powering them up a lot. It's not giving you any cost reduction. You'll see you pay 10 life to gain 10 mana to gain 15 life. If you wanted to run like a life gain with this, you really could. D here. It's very fun. I'll give it that. Raph and Leo, sibling rivals. Tax if it's the first combat phase this turn. Untap 1 or 2 target attacking creatures. At this phase, there's an initial combat phase. It's only when they attack, they don't have to deal damage. Are they a worse version of Aurelia? Yes, but Aurelia is a very good commander. And there's a reason they want to like make a slightly worse version of her. Because like untap this and like put Helmet Host on it and just keep attacking with like the new copy and keep on going and keep on taking your extra combat phase. Yeah, we're gonna put you into A tier for that exact reason for getting your infinite combat phase is essentially what this and one other card. We'll might move it down a little bit because maybe we'll make this top 10. We have 33 left. Raph and Mikey Troublemakers. Attacks reveal cards on top of your library until you reveal a creature card. Put that card onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, and rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That's a big creature that you're about to be cheating out for such little mana. Whereas Don and Raph, we're gonna move down because you still have to pay mana for that. In order to get your artifacts on the board in the first place. Raph and Mikey, you don't have to pay mana for that creature that you're getting. You don't have to get. You all you have to do is get this on the board in the first place. All they have to do is attack. They don't have to deal with damage. And you're in red. And green, so you have plenty of big creatures that you want to get on the board. Maybe we'll leave these on A tier as well. We'll just make this a top 10 instead of top 5 like we normally do. Because we also have Raphael, most attitude. Whenever another creature control enters, exile top card of your library. When he attacks until end of turn, you may play a card exile with Raphael. Very fun ability. You get to like cast your spells that like doesn't matter like when they're exiled, as long as they're exiled. Only thing is if this gets removed, your opponent like resets like the amount of cards that are in there. So, like, I think because people like removing commanders, we'll put them in C tier. But it's a very good amount of card advantage you're getting. Wrath and Ninja Destroyer must be blocked if able. Please 4/4. It's dealt damage, add that much red mana until end of turn. Don't lose that mana, steps and phases end. For 2 and 2 red, very good ability. You're getting a lot of mana to get into your big X spells. But we have 3 different Wraths in the commands in the A tier already. So, like, we don't put monocolored in the A tier, no matter how much they might deserve it, because that's a lot of mana you're getting, especially if you make them indestructible and you cast a blast attack, and all of a sudden you have 13 mana, you just do whatever you want with, and then you use that 13 mana, you have 13 more damage to all the creatures, and then you have 13 more mana, and then you keep on going, and you keep on going wild. Following up though, we have Raphael, Tag Team Tough. For 4 and 2 red, you have 5/6 with Menace. Deals combat damage to a player for the first time each turn, untap all attacking creatures. Get an extra combat phase. Extra combat phase is very nice. That's basically 6 mana that you would normally pay for an extra combat phase. Put some boots on him, do it really quickly. And he's Menace, so like, he has a way to enable it. That's C tier. Raphael, Nightwatch. We have a lot of Raphaels. Attacking creatures control double strike. Sneak from 1 and 2 red. That's good power for all your creatures. Is it enough of a power up to go in C tier? Or is it D tier? Yeah, I'll put you in C tier. It's enough of a power up. Double strike's a very good ability because then you're getting all of your, like, when this creature deals combat damage to your player opponent, you get to get an effect. And you do that again and again and again and again. Raphael, Tough Turtle. Whenever another creature enters, deal 1 damage to target opponent. Oh, it's only target opponent? Ugh, F tier. Rat King, Pale Piper. You can run goblins with that, I guess. Like, just run Slash at that point. It's literally better version. Rat King, Pale Piper. Whenever another non-token creature you control leaves the battlefield, get a 1/1 black rat creature token. You're in mono black. You have plenty of ways to sacrifice things. Sacrifice token to draw a card. So it repeats its own stuff. Getting card advantage by getting free rats on the board. That's a very good effect. And you're in black, so you have access to the color that you need. Yeah, C tier. Rat King, Burminster. Very fun effect. Sacrifice 3 rats, put target creature card and all other cards with the same name as that card onto the battlefield tapped. You're getting all of your Relentless Rats out of your graveyard and onto the battlefield. You can run just Relentless Rats with this as a commander. It's very fun. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent left the battlefield on your controller's turn, get a rat as well. Put a +1/+1 counter on him as well. That's a lot of card advantage. You're getting a lot of rats for not a lot of payout. Sorry. Yeah, you don't have to pay a lot for a lot of rats. So, racking into the command zone at the B tier. Ray Fillet, Man Ray. Man Ray. Enters, get a Mutant token. Move a +1/+1 counter from a creature you control, draw a card. You're in blue. You don't have a lot of ways to get +1/+1 counters, but you have enough. But you have to pay 2 mana to draw a card. D tier. Ray Fillet, File Warrior. Evolve. Whenever a creature you control would counter on deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So whenever a creature. So like that's however many creatures you have. It's basically a C tier commander if I've ever seen one. Renee, Temporal Apprentice. Enters. Return each non-land permanent that entered this turn to its owner's hand. Wait. Oh. And there's Flash? That's 5 mana though. I mean, you could Blinker and like do it during each of your opponent's turn. That's a board wipe. That's card disadvantage. Just card advantage for you. Card disadvantage for your opponent. It's card advantage for you. So C tier. I can see B tier even for her. I don't want to see her across the table. C tier. Rocksteady Crash Course. Oh, sorry. We can put this other Rocksteady back into C tier. Rocksteady Crash Courser. Must be blocked. Can't be blocked by more than one creature. Boards you control can't be blocked by more than one creature. So this pairs well with the other Rocksteady. Sorry, with Bebop. But wait, you can't even run these two together. That's silly. F tier. Sally Pride, Lioness Leader. Enters create X2/2 red mutant creature tokens for X number of non-token creatures you control, basically doubling up the number of creatures you control. It's only when she enters, like if you're in mono white, you keep on blinking her, keep on getting more and more tokens to power up your more and more tokens you have. She attacks, put +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's a lot of tokens. That's a lot of creatures you're powering up. That's a C tier. Savanti Romero times Exile. 4/4 trample for drain 2 black. At the end of combat your turn, put a +1/+1 counter on Savanti Romero. When you draw a card, you lose X life, where X is the number of counters on this card. Okay, so you have to go to combat. You don't get the choice on losing cards or drawing the cards, but it's a lot of draw power. But I think that's still D tier for me. I don't know. You're only going to get once per turn, and your opponent's going to probably remove it. Shark Shredder, Killer Clone. First strike, deals command to a player, put up to one target creature card from that player's graveyard to battlefield under your control, and just tap and attacking that player. Get the double strike, and you don't have to worry about the second strike. It's a very good effect. Yeah, I mean, you're stealing from your opponent's graveyard. That's A tier. Normally I'll put, what's it called? Monocolored commanders in. Yeah, you're right. I'll put monocolored commanders in A tier. I think that one might be deserving. It's really a fact. Especially if you double strike, you're stealing 2 creatures from opponent's graveyard each turn. Yeah. Did I not put the other, I guess I forgot to put the other turtles from the, what's it called, in here? The precon. Well, check out my precon video in that one, in case yes. Shredder, Shadowmaster. Deals common damage to a player. That player loses half life rounded up. Similar to Dark Leo and Shredder. You have plenty of ways to be like, if your opponent loses life, they lose double that amount of life as well. Just run this with Alcazats. You get to do it to each opponent because it's myriad, essentially. Very good ability. B tier for that reason. It's still monocolored. Shredder, Unrelenting. Sneak for 3 and a black. Death Touch, whenever Shredder enters or attacks, another target creature you control gains Death Touch on turn. You're powering up one creature, sometimes maybe. F tier. / Reptile Rampager. Whenever another creature you control enters, / deals 2 damage to each opponent. And you're in mono red, so you have plenty of ways to double or triple that damage as well. When he attacks, you have 2/2 red mutant creature token. You have plenty of ways to make his own effect get going on his own. He has 5 mana. He's like a slightly worse version of Perforos, but Perforos is a very good commander. Splinter and Leo, father and son. Choose one or both. Target player gets a 2/2 red mutant token, or put a +1/+1 counter on each other creature target player controls. Putting a +1/+1 counter on each of our creatures is fun. When getting tokens is fun. It's both the things that Mono White wants to do. D tier. Splinter, Aging Champion. Destroy it to one target tap creature when he enters. Leaves the battlefield. You and another target player each draw a card. A little bit of draw power. F tier though, because you only get to destroy one thing sometimes, maybe. Wait, is that when he leaves the battlefield? Okay, wait, it's when he leaves the battlefield. So you blink him, keep on removing things, keep on getting draw power. We'll put him in D tier. Splinter, Hamato Yoshi. Sneak for black, or 1 in black to put him on the board, just as normal. Menace, other ninjas you control get +1/+1. D tier, he powers up other things at least, sometimes maybe. Splinter, Radical Rat. If an ninja you control gets their ability triggered, you get an additional time. Target ninja can't be blocked this turn, making so it'll definitely get its effect. That's an A tier commander. I think Dark Leon Shredder maybe we'll put down. We're done, Ref. Do we have too many Raphaels up here? I think so. I think we'll put this one down there for now. Maybe we'll move it back up. So I don't think we're going to get a top 10. Actually, the neutrinos are probably top 10. They probably find some other things to move. Yeah. I don't even remember. I just moved Raph and someone. Raph and Leo. Yeah, we'll make this top 10. Sackman, Madfly Entist? What is that? Not Baxter? Okay. It looks like the same person. Enters, draw a card, discard a card. You're not getting any advantage. You're going neutral. That's island cycling, which you're not going to use. Super Shredder. Whenever another permanent leaves the battlefield, put +1/+1 counter on Super Shredder. So what are we going to do with this? We're going to have each player sacrifice a creature each turn. We're going to play Curse Marauder. We're going to play Flashback Marauder. That's 8 counters on this. We're going to give it also, what's it called? Tarian Soul Cleaver. Oof. It's a lot of counters going on this, and we just have more and more ways to put plus and plus on counters. I could see A tier, but we don't put monocolored in A tier. It's B tier. Tempestra, Dame of Games. Sacrifice an artifact, create a tokenless copy of target creature you control. Except it's not legendary, has haste, but goes away. Sacrifice a treasure and get that effect. Pretty good. Yeah, so I kind of want to have my jaw stack now that I think about it. Second enters ability for red creatures is very useful. Like, very excited to see it in 99. I don't think you're going to see it too often now. D tier. The neutrinos. Whenever a creature you control enters, neutrinos get +1/+0 till end of turn. Attacks, blink a creature. Blinking a creature each combat. Very good. Similar to Raph and Leo. Potentially infinite combos with this one. So, A tier we go. Just blink abilities are very good, especially in red and white. Token Razor, terrible twos. Player casts a spell for less mana, less than their normal amount. Deal 3 damage to that player. It's very hard to do. You're not getting to do that effect too often. Does it work out very well when it does? Yes. How often is it working out? Not often. But good, well enough to go into C tier. Because like that mana burn damage to make your opponent think twice about any of their plays about any mana cost direction. Which like having as like a way to control the pace of the game. Very fun. Token Razor, unsupervised. First strike, whenever another non-token creature you control leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on this card and create a treasure token. Only happens once each turn. That's each turn, not just on each of our turns. Keep on sacrificing things. We put this in our Goblin deck, and we get charged each turn. We have much more to play into what's it called our stuff. But I think being in mono red, and I don't think they have access to something now like allow us to create a token each turn. So these here we go. If there is, I say C. Venus, torn between worlds, stealth damage, put that many +1/+1 counters on her. She's not indestructible, so she just still survive. Whenever creature you control with a counter on deals combat, she'll pay green. If you do draw a card, the counters are limited, the draw power is limited. I'll put it in D. Actually, no, I'll put it in C. Oop, oop. Does that work? Yep, there we go. Wingnut, Battle of Belfry. Then another creature you control enters. She gets either flying mass or haste. Okay. Attacks each other target creature gets +1/+0. That's not enough for balancing on to D. That's F. And finally, Zog. Triceratron Castaway. Target creature can't block this turn. Okay. Reach triple. F tier. Just a strong guy. Alright, now let's see. Who are we putting up into A tier? Wow, this is just, what's it called? I'll say, no, I think we move 2 down. Keep it to our top 5. Alright. Neutrinos are moving down. Their effect's too limited. Because it's limited to, like, when they're attacking. And for our other one, we're moving down. I think, no, I can move down both of those. No, because the amount of cost reduction we get with Don and Raph is too much to be understated. Yeah, I think that's our list. So for our top 5 commanders, we have Dark Leo and Shredder, Don and Raph, Hard Science, Krang and Shredder, Raph and Mikey, and Splinter. But yeah, overall, I think there's some that could be moved, like either up 1, down 1. I don't think there's anyone who's in F tier. Like maybe April could go into the D tier. But like she was like the basis, like our baseline in terms of like what we're judging everything else off of. But leave your own thoughts down there in the comment section below. We'll be happy to read those there. There's a lot of really powerful commanders in the set, I'd say. Excited to see what we'll see across the table going forward. But thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day.